Good evening and welcome back to my channel. I have an unboxing, and this is actually the start of a build. What will be the start of a build series. So this is going to be one of my kits that I will do a build series on. This subject has been sitting on my radar for, oh goodness, years. I picked this up sometime back from Evil Bay, and you can see what it is. It's Zvezda's version of the T-35 Soviet heavy tank. It is from the time of the land battleships, so it's pre World War II. I think the last one of these actually was in the field in 39-ish. I don't think they made it much more than that, but details, right? If you're curious about the T-35, look it up. I know little bits and pieces about it, and I am loath to really share details because, I know I'm not 100% accurate, but I love this tank. I love the example of over-engineering of the concepts of designing tanks between the wars is really, really cool to me. And this particular instance, or this particular vehicle that the Soviets came up with is just over the top and really cool. So I love it. So here we go. As you can see, the cover, T-35, 1/35 scale, so it's not going to be small. On the side, you have things here. You have a call out for Humbrol paint. You have your decals. This is Zvezda, so a lot of stuff is in Russian, and you also have some other languages. On this side, you've got your kit number 3667, and then your scale T-35. And then on the other side, you get other pictures of other tanks. So you have your the JS2 or the IS2, KV2, and what's that? T-34? I think so. Oh, KV1. I'm sorry, KV1. And then your other side. And on the back, you get some pictures of the model. So this is looks like it is an actual picture of the model kit itself, and then some looks at how it goes together. They could be renders. I'm not really sure, but they look good enough to be built. So looks like it has some interior to it, at least to the top turret. I don't expect that there's much at all of any other interior. So, all right, so I have opened this, but I haven't really looked into it. So let's crack in. So what's inside the Zvezda box? And we have bags of parts. We have our transfer sheet and our destruction sheet, and then we have our tub, which is not short. So I'll set this stuff off to the side here, and we will walk through this as we normally do, or as I normally do. We being you who come along with me. So here is our instruction sheet, and it is mostly in Cyrillic and Russian. I do see some English, so there's some English here, and we will see if we have English during the instruction pieces. So it is fold out, so let's do that. We have our sprue mats. Looks like they call them out each type, which is good. It appears our tracks are link and length, so you have tops, bottoms, and then your links for going around the sprockets and so forth. And so that's what we have. And let's take a look at the assembly. So it does have details in English, so it does have instructions in English. That will help. So this is your top, putting together your top, putting together pieces for what look like to be one of your, starting with the turrets. As you can see, at least the main turret, or the main turret stand, or the bulwark that it's going to go onto, you have to build together the pieces. Turret, you have to go together so that your turret's not simple. There will be some construction that has to go with it, so that'll be entertaining. But your instructions are, you do have instruction language in English, so that helps. There we go. I'm trying to get all that out. This little stuff's in Russian, and then you can see your turret going together. One of your other turrets, you have two of them, right? So you're putting those two, and those are those two front. So front and back, they have. You can see here, it's basically mirrored. So you're going to do this stuff twice, and then your extra pieces, doodahs and tools and extra track pieces and your tow cables and so forth. Looks like they're telling you how many of these to put on and how like 5 of those together, so that you build up those, and then your supports for that. So that's nice. And then building up the front. So it looks like there's going to be some. You're going to have to pay attention to how you put this together. This is kind of busy, so I suspect I'm going to need to take my time as we build this, but that's kind of the point of building a model. Wheels wheels going together. You have 2 wheels here, 12 of those wheels to put together, and then they call out which ones. So that's not bad. Your sprocket wheels and so forth. So yeah. Okay, so let's flip this over, and then so you're going down here, and I am going to assume that you're going to do this piece first, or this set of assemblies first. As I look at the way these done, that's kind of how I'm figuring this has to happen. So we do this, and then we move on to here, and move down these steps. Okay, so these are calling out your so 16A and 16C, 16B. So to get these pieces for 16, you need to do these steps. 17A, 17B, to get those pieces that you'll have in 17. So these pieces there, they call them out A and B. So 18A, to get that. To get that, you need to do this. So okay, that's how that works. Not bad. I can follow that. Other pieces here, little details. I keep saying the word pieces, but you get the idea. I am not a tanker, by the way, so I'm sure there's a specific word for these, attachment points that I don't know. So you tankers and people who are familiar with the genre, with the equipment, do please forgive me, or not. It's up to you. And then you go through. You put your this looks like the main turret. And it looks like there's a bit of interior for the main turret, which is kind of cool. It'll allow you to actually pop the hatches open, which would be kind of cool if you want to. It looks like it's the only one that's got any kind of interior to it. So if you want to have that level of detail, you can. I'm going to make no promises either way, which way I'm going to go, but it's kind of cool. I might think about it. And then you put these together, then you put your side skirts on, and then you go to painting. Yeah, there we go. And then you put on your transfer, paint it, finish it off, and then put on your transfers, and you are theoretically done. As I understand, this pretty much was only done in one color, green, which 6 1/2 does the other. If that's what you like, I don't know what I'm going to do, so we'll worry about that later. So in this bag we have, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this down a little bit, so please don't get dizzy, don't get sick. I'm going to zoom in just a touch, maybe not that much, right about there. Okay, so here's our transfers and other little details. So this is string for our cable. It's string. I may actually use wire, we'll see. And then our transfer sheets for Russian Star, and they look to be registered. They don't look to be super thick, and they're actually, look to be kind of clean, so it's not old. I mean, this is an old kit, so no. Right. And then we have a couple of clear pieces for headlights, which again, is kind of cool. It was nice they're put in that bag so that you don't lose them. So here is the main tub of our land battleship, and as you can see, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 inches long. However many millimeters, you guys can do math. or ask the Google. There's some nice detail here. It is smooth plastic, so we have some nice rivet detail, and we have kind of cool. So on the bottom, this is kind of neat. There's weld detail between those plates, which is cool. Now, we also have these two little pieces, so I'm assuming those are intentional rivets. Rivet detail on all these little parts, and then some nice small weld detail there, which is cool. All right. Riveted plates, some nice finishing detail you can see there on those transmission hubs or whatever they're called. Not bad. Okay. And you know, it's shaped very well. It's not warped or anything, so cool. All right. So that's our main tub. And then we have bags o' plastic. And I will actually go into these guys. We'll actually need to use the, forgot which blade I had on here, so a little bit challenging, so I apologize. There we go. Come on. Really? Seriously? There we go. All right. So we have what looks to be our suspension and other pieces here, and that was a part that came off on there. What is that? So that could be just a sprue piece. Not sure. Based on the way it looks like it's a sprue piece, but I'm going to toss it in the box because who knows? Alrighty, so here is the top of our deck. And that goes on top of our tub. So that gives you a really good idea of just how big this guy is here. He is not small at all. And I'm thinking that's how it goes, like this. So that'll give you an idea just how big this guy is. In 1/35 scale, it's kind of nice. Again, detail is nice, and so it's fairly smooth plastic. There's no metal texture, but it's fairly thin. So it's not. I'm not going to say that it's scale thin, but it is fairly thin. Ejection pin marks on the underside. You're not going to see them, and I don't see any real issues out here on the surface, which is cool. All right. So we have a couple of these. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the same sprue. So we will go through only one of these. And this is your suspension pieces, suspension parts. There are your track links, springs, bogies for your wheels, and then it looks like these are pieces for your smaller turret. We do have some ejection pin marks, and that wheel looks to be, looks like that wheel broke. Looks like that wheel had one of those tabs and it broke. Okay, that's fine. We'll just glue it on, we'll deal with it. Ejection pin marks there, but I think those are going to go across from there. So your detail isn't bad. It's okay. I'm assuming the guns right there that stick out there, they're actually very fine, very thin. So yeah, that's actually pretty nice. And so, as I said, you get 4 of these. As you look at that one, yeah, so that looks like that one was missing is missing a part, or missing a piece of it. So it'll be fine. We'll work our way around it. We're modelers, right? And we meaning me, using the royal we there. We shall be fine. All right, so, and again, this one looks like it is, again, 2 of the same sprue, which is cool. All right, so we'll set that over. And this is the main track links, and so the track links are nice. Now, there's no sag to them, and I'm not sure if there should be, right? I'm not sure if there should be sag along the track. Well, actually there is, if you look at it. There's a little bit. You can barely see it. So I stand corrected. There is a little bit of sag on the top length of track, which is okay. That's kind of cool. The detail on the track links are cool. They look really nice. I am assuming it is accurate. Again, you those of you who are experts in 1930s Russian tankers will probably be able to correct me on that, or state definitively yes or no. The model, the pieces of this look to be good. So there's your detail on your turrets. So if you look at your turret, very fine detail, these pieces here. And again, these will go together. I'm sorry, these are going to go together here. And you have to build up your turret. And I suspect that's going to be, well, it's going to matter how well it's fit. So if there's any deformation or anything, that's when it'll show. And you can see that little curve there. I'm assuming that's part of what is the way this is done. Because if it's not, if that's, actually, you know what, it's not. It looks like it's been bent. So that is a problem with the model then. So fit's going to matter when you're putting all these pieces together. So it looks like there will be some minor challenges for fit, but if we take our time and are patient, yeah, you can see that one is square, whereas this bad boy, sadly, has been bent. And that's, again, the price of sitting in a box for however many years it sat in a box. If I recall, I got this thing for a song, so I'm not going to complain too terribly much about it. It is what it is, and the challenges of age, we'll see how well they're actually engineered. If it's engineered to fit well, there's a difference between messed up from age and messed up from engineering, so we'll find out. There's our upper turret. As you can see, it comes in two parts. Again, the plastic is thin, which is nice. Everywhere you see a hatch or a hole or something where the thickness of the metal would be blatant, the casting looks to be well done. There's good rivet detail pretty much across the board. There's no texture again to the turret, but I'm thinking this didn't have any. This is kind of cool. It has a cast star on the turret. Underneath, that's fine. You're not going to see any of that stuff. So that's your interior part of the main turret. You do have a couple of ejector pin marks here. So if you're going to do this with hatches open, you may want to be aware of where they are. I mean, the hatches are going to be pretty much right above here. So right above those. So depending on what's on there. But I don't see any, so the detail on all of these other parts looks to be fairly nice. I don't see any sink marks, or certainly no flash. And details such as, like that part right there. Very fine and clean. I'm liking it. There's some nice detail there. I think you can see that there. Yeah. And we have one more sprue. This has the antenna and other such like pieces. So let's be gentle when we pull this guy out. There we go. So again, there's limited interior parts. This is all okay, cool. So there's your antenna, and the way it was formed and molded and stuck on the sprue. It's well protected, which is nice. Clipping that off, I mean, your connection points are small-ish. There's going to be a little bit of cleanup depending on how well it's done. So then these are the two side pieces that go on the side of the hull where the skirts go. So this right here, let's do this. So that's all long, and you can see it's not deformed. It's nice and straight, which is really nice. You've got some nice detail there. You've got rivet detail. I keep saying the same thing over and over, but it's really kind of true. This is nice. I mean, for something that I was able to pick up fairly inexpensively off eBay, it's nice. So here's the thing. So here's the the turret mount. I don't know. I don't know what the word is, guys. I'm sure those of you who understand the language will know. But the box that the turret sits on this bloody thing on the deck. That's part of it. So you got to build all this up, and that's going to be the only real, the fact that there's that stuff engineered, depending on how this is done. You see how the sprue gates comes in there, and it looks like it is expecting a flush mount. Now, if that engineering is right, then that'll be great. We also have this, which will help. If the engineering is not right, then it's going to be fun. So, not having done it, my first impression of this kit is cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I will freely admit that my opinion of this kit is very much colored by my opinion of the subject itself, which is super cool to me. Right, so I will go here and then we'll back out a bit. There we go. So first impressions, Zvezda, the molding is great. The detail is great. So if you look at the details that are on here, the thickness of the fenders look good. The guns look good as far as I can tell. First impression, yeah. So we even got little bits of sag between the rollers, the upper rollers. So I like it. I do see what may be challenges. Now I have heard there are people who've made the comment when I told them I was looking at doing this kit. They said good luck. I've heard positive and negative, and we're going to find out. The Zvezda has had some really, really, really challenging, shall we say, kits, and then I've seen some really nice stuff that they've got. So this is the only one I know of. I think there's a Hobby Boss one out there, and there's a couple others, but they were like 2, 3, 4 times the shekels that this is. So I think I will just roll with this. I have it, so dug it out of the stash, and this is going to be the next one. So this is the unboxing of Zvezda's T-35 and 1/35 scale, and the start of the build. So there will be a series coming as I work my way through this, and we will see if my first impressions of hey, really cool, are founded, or if I'm going to be having some words with Mr. Zvezda. So until then, there we go. I hope this was enjoyable. I hope that if you are looking at this kit, if you're looking at Zvezda's and you're wanting to see what the box looks like, what's inside that box, now you see. And until next time, happy modeling. Have a good day.